And gentlemen, we've got a very special stream here for you today. Watch Dogs Legion. We are taking a look at some gameplay, and we've got a very special guest. Yusuf, why don't you introduce our esteemed colleague here?
Oh, Chris, I'd be happy to. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Clint Hawking, creative director on Watch Dogs Legion. Clint, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Hello, everyone. Great to be here.
And here is a little stream of Watch Dogs Legion gameplay. What we've cooked up here is Yusuf and I both got a chance to play a bunch of the game recently, and we pulled out some sort of chunks of different missions and different antics we got up to, like slugging a beer and smashing it against your nice
Start with
hat.
a drink. Why not?
Exactly.
We kick it off early.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing about this is that, not only could I just pull out the beer and, drink it, but this is actually a barrister I just recruited to my squad because one of my operatives got caught and put in jail. And so I recruited a barrister to get them out.
Nice.
And then once I got the barrister and took control, I saw that he did extra melee damage. And so I thought, hey, let's smash this beer and let's head into the underground bare knuckle boxing ring league. And before I did that, I said, okay, I need an outfit suitable for a bare knuckle boxer. So that's what I'm doing here.
Perfect thing to do with the barrister. Take him in and get him beat up. I love it.
Oh, yes.
While he's looking fly, of course.
Yeah.
Yusuf, tell us about your
hat
fashion.
and everything.
What were your fashion goals here, Yusuf, as you put it together?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Chris. Thank you. My immediate thoughts were a mix of, Trinidad James all gold everything with the Mad Hatter, and so yeah, that's what I went for here.
Excellent, and I really like this scene because there's a lot of you spent some time looking at these holograms coming out of the wall. Clint, like this is. Sure. You guys use these to pretty dramatic effect in a few scenes. Can you tell us a little bit more about this kind of decorative element?
Yeah, I mean, this is Kemen High Street, so it's one of the nicest, most interesting visually shopping areas of the game, and yeah, there's a lot of these holographic projections here, and so this is sort of one of our reflections of modern technology is these holographic projection, or modern in our near future version of London, holographic projections for advertising. So it's makes the storefronts come to life, adds a lot of light and color and flavor to the district even at night. It's great.
Absolutely, that big blue scorpion. I'm just picturing that like right outside the old apartment building here. I don't know, like at my home. Definitely make a statement.
I'm terrified of scorpions. It's like one of my phobias, so I always stay away from that shop at night.
Well, I'm glad you got it into the game here. So yeah, again, folks, we are just kind of looking at gameplay footage that we have curated and sort of sped up in certain places to get you into the action. So if you see us moving along briskly or swift shifting along, that's the reason why. But now you're going to see Yusuf try his hand in the ring.
Oh, yeah. So I was jumping in here, and this is there's 5 sort of bare knuckle boxing tournaments that you can participate in to eventually win. And at the very end of each tournament, you have to face the champion, which is, in this case, actually
two guys, yeah. This is a great way to recruit sort of really good melee characters. You can go to these arenas and then figure out who these people are and then recruit them into your team. And some of the best melee fighters in the game are the bosses in these arenas. So, oh, nice kick.
I was actually really surprised by this barrister and his sort of skill set here.
You think just a dude because studies the law doesn't mean he can't throw down?
Well, it's bare knuckle boxing. I wasn't expecting him to be hitting all these sweet roundhouse kicks.
Yeah, he's not just studying the law; he's bringing it.
Yeah, so things got pretty dicey here. You can see my screen got black and white, but I was able to down.
Oh, you did it! Nice double finisher.
I
Way
know.
To go.
The combos.
Way to go.
Folks, if you want to join us in the chat and throw us some questions, we are streaming on twitch.tv/Ubisoft. Hop in the chat there. If you're watching on YouTube, we're glad to have you there as well. And yeah, we're taking a look at Watch Dogs Legion, and Yusuf had just punched his way through the bare knuckle arena, but there's a couple different arenas here. And then Yusuf, give us some context about, we're shifting gears now. We're going to look at someone else.
So right there at the end, you saw all the people I fought, and I can choose to add any of them to my my sort of potential list of recruits. And so I added one, but then In the meantime, I switched over to one of my infiltrator operatives here, who you could see can cloak, because I was actually working on recruiting one of those boxers.
Cool.
The cloak is so slick.
Like I say, going to those bare knuckle arenas and finding like the best people and recruiting them to become your kind of key melee guys. That's like one of the first things I do whenever I start a new game is head out to the Nine Elms arena because I like the boss that's there. She's pretty awesome.
Well,
yeah, I think that's actually one of the.
We're gonna see later.
Yeah, I think that's actually the one we'll see later as well.
Oh, awesome! She's one of my favorite fighters in the whole game. She's great.
We got a few questions in chat I want to address a little bit now. Folks asking what platform this was on. This was captured on PC via a remote play session. That's how one of the ways that Ubisoft is helping folks get their hands on games ahead of time to preview them. So it wasn't just us, it was other content creators who will be releasing stuff today. So you'll be able to check out a whole bunch of Legion gameplay here and elsewhere. We are not playing co-op right now. That's going to be coming later on in the post-launch support for Watch Dogs Legion, so we'll be talking about that a little later down the line. All right.
Well said, Chris.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Where are we at?
So we found Hadrian now. He was our boxer recruit. He changed outfits.
Yeah. So everybody has their different clothing. Like when he's a bare knuckle fighter, he wears his bare knuckle fighting stuff. But when he's out, walking around the city, he wears his civilian clothes. If he happens to have a job as a groundskeeper or a policeman, then he'll be in uniform when he's at his job. Everybody in the world has their own schedule, and they all live their lives according to their schedule. So if you recruit him, you'll get all of his uniforms as well. So if he's a police officer, bare knuckle fighter who likes to go jogging in the park, he might have all different sets of clothing that you can swap him into, as well as customize him.
Ooh, that's so cool. Yeah. So we didn't show it here in full disclosure. I actually got beat up in one of the bare knuckle boxing fights. And so my operative that my barrister that was in all gold that you saw there was sent to the hospital. And I could have recruited a paramedic and gotten him out of the hospital. But I also thought, hey, why not take a look at some of the opponents I've defeated in the past, some of these people who have really good boxing, melee stats, and see if I can't use one of them. And so that's why I decided to recruit Hadrian. And so here I'm now doing him a favor. I'm obtaining a file for him that I believe was his
gangsters blackmailing him or something. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when you jump into what's super cool is like I got kind of obsessed with the deep profiler. So like when any single person in the game, like you can jump in and view their deep profile and view their schedule, view like what's wrong with their life, what's going on, who their family connections are, and those feed into their recruitment missions.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of the characters, we got a question from Half Peeps asking, are all the characters the same for all players, or is it random for the game you're playing?
So everybody's different for all players, although we were talking about the bare knuckle bosses a minute ago. So as you go through the bare knuckle arenas, the bosses in each of the arenas, they're not the same. They all have different names and different jobs and different backstories, but they have the same set of abilities, each of the bosses, so that we could guarantee that there's like a climactic boss fight at the end of each of those arenas, so that you can win it with a good fight. But you can still recruit those bosses. But again, they have different names, different character models. Like they look different, sound different, different family, different backstory. So even if you have the same abilities on a character, it'll be unique in your game from someone else's.
Here we see Yusuf has recruited an ace driver.
Great driving, yeah.
I gotta say, Clint, even in a video game, it feels so weird to drive on the left side of the road.
Yeah, it is.
That took me so long.
I mean, I've been playing this game for 5 years, and I still get in head-on collisions because I'm driving on the wrong side.
The question is, though, does it backwash into your normal life? Like, when you get into the car and pull out onto the road, do you have to, tell your brain, right side of the road?
Little known fact about me is that I don't even have a driver's license. Never had a driver's license. I'm a weird anomaly.
He doesn't drive.
No, I don't drive, except in video games, where I drive exclusively on the wrong side of the road.
Well, good thing this man is not licensed, folks.
I'm kind of jealous, honestly.
Iron Legion asking, can we visit the Big Ben? We got you covered. We'll have some Big Ben a little bit later in the thing. Yeah, wrong side, guys, Kiter. You are definitely right. And again, folks, if you're seeing, you'll see some like little wipes as we change scenes occasionally. That's just because we're doing like a footage review here. This is gameplay we previously captured on a PC through a remote play session, and so we're just going through now and kind of checking out some highlights and talking with Clint Hawking, creative director of Watch Dogs Legion. Yeah, I definitely found that, like, you know, I really like getting into a Watch Dogs game and driving from place to place, just because it starts to like piece together my idea of what the city is like, what landmarks am I gonna come up on, and also how do I navigate the big roundabouts, which can be a little tricky when you're just zooming along at high speeds.
You're actually getting to the very southern tip of the map here. This is Windrush Square in Brixton, so a very famous square in the southern portion of our game world. Huge wave of immigration from the Caribbean and Jamaica that came into this part of London in the middle of the 20th century and sort of established a really strong and vibrant Caribbean community here in Jamaica in Brixton. And this is what we've tried to recreate here is some of the feel of what's going on in this part of our world. Looks really great.
Yeah, so when people are going into these neighborhoods, you know, obviously we'll be seeing stuff like holographic blue scorpions that are sort of to imagine the near future vision of Watch Dogs Legion. But, you know, a lot of the landmarks, the feel, the fire hydrants and the kind of people you see in each neighborhood, that's all drawn from your inspiration of studying London.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not just the neighborhood, but like the people in the neighborhoods are going to, have certain demographics and certain kinds of jobs and, certain income levels. So we did a massive amount of research into, open source like census data from the British government and, really studied the demographic and ethnic and economic makeup of each of the major boroughs that we've represented in the game. So it's as accurate as we could make it, given the constraints of making a video game. So we've really worked hard on getting an authentic feel to the city.
Did you ever feel like, as you're looking at this census data and stuff, doing this kind of demographic profiling, like you're being a little like Watch Dogsy yourself in terms of the data you're using to create the game?
A little bit. You have to make the game to understand the game and understand the game to make it. I guess it's definitely a lot of information at our fingertips now.
Totally.
To be able to do this.
Sorry to interrupt you, Clint, but I paused it here, folks. It's not a gameplay issue. I paused because I wanted to just take a look at what this screen looks like when you've got an operative. You just recruited Hadrian Hare Yusuf, and you can see this dude has won a strongman competition, so he's got a lot of melee-related attributes.
Yeah, Shockwave strikes, staggers enemies, takes less melee damage, and has stronger counters. And so he just seemed like the perfect bare knuckle boxer. Yeah, and I saw a question too asking about what type of weapons there are. So you can see in the bottom right there that he has 2 non-lethal shock weapons. And in my experience, most of the operatives had at least 1 shock weapon. Some even had a different sort of specialized weapon. Like the person with the bowler hat I was playing with before had a paintball gun that they were using. I know construction workers, have nail guns, things like that. So there's a lot of different specialized weapons.
Oh, yes. I'm ready, willing, and able to
Yeah,
serve.
speaking of character customizations, Z-Flip a little bit ago asked, are there hair customizations?
So we don't do hair customization in the game right now. So everyone that you see comes with their existing haircut, and customizations is clothing and uniforms and costumes right there for now.
Excellent. And another person was asking about Ubisoft Easter eggs in the game. My knowledge is not comprehensive by any stretch, but I will tell you one thing that didn't make it into this cut was I did at one point hack a rooftop relay, and then it was right by a canal, and there was like an open area. I was able to jump off, and it did like a little Assassin's Creed leap of faith screen.
There you go.
So keep an eye out for that one. All right, Yusuf, what's going down here?
All right, so I'm in my final bare knuckle boxing tournament. I'm going up against Renee Randall here, and you can see bare knuckle fighter, and then never fights without a cluster of smoke bombs. And so that like there was going to be some shenanigans that came up in this fight.
Yep, she cheats. I love this is seriously one of my favorite fighters in the whole game.
But I was feeling confident. I had recruited Hadrian at this point. He's quite the
He's
fighter.
also a champion, right?
Yeah.
This is a showdown here. Recruit a champion to fight a champion. Are you going to win this one, or are you going to get your butt kicked?
Oh, I think we'll find out. I put.
Oh,
really
there's
think I
a shot
put something in. We wouldn't include this if I got my butt kicked. Yeah.
We're trying to make ourselves look good here, Clint. I mean, you were trying to show off your game too, but really.
Now you're in trouble. Now you're in trouble.
Who's organizing this fight? What kind of rules are in place here?
Right. I'm saying.
Fucking done with you, bruv.
Oh, bruv. Yeah, Clint, what's the instance of UK slang use in the office? Has it increased, or do you try not to adopt it too much? What's your stance?
I think we try not to, because there's a lot of British people on the team, and they call us out when we start pulling out the big bad British accents. So out of respect for our British co-workers, we don't pretend to talk like most of us. Oh, you demolished her. Oh,
I
man.
mean, Hadrian was just the right man for the job.
It's true. He did extra damage, so he's pretty tough.
Yeah, you saw those shock waves coming out. That was from that ability we saw in his little character breakdown earlier. But a little bit of good sportsmanship here. I like this.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, you got a recruiter, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. So here you go.
So here you go. Look at her. She's got the shockwave strike as well, but she has tear gas and she's immune to her own gas. But she has this kinetic charger ability. This is what makes her one of my favorite characters, is this ability. When you hit people, you've got some kind of like kinetic battery that you carry. So when you hit people, it recharges all of your gadgets.
Oh,
so this is amazing, because you can run into a melee fight, pound someone, and that recharges your gadget. Then you can use your gadget, then you can run and pound the next guy. It's great. It's great.
Oh man, combined with that shock fist, I can really see that being really gnarly.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I took out 30 guys fighting barehanded with her once. It was amazing. Whew.
All right, so here we are over in Westminster. We are approaching Big Ben, a London icon. And the setup for this, folks, is I was playing as this operative here, and we had been stirring up some trouble in Westminster. You can do these missions to create a borough uprising, and then that'll unlock a mission that is at a big landmark in that borough. So that's what you're going to see right here. And Clint, this kind of borough uprising thing, what kind of flavor did you want to give with these missions? What do you see these as in terms of motivation for the player and how it connects them to the world?
I mean, the sort of most important motivation here is to remove Albion's presence, or reduce massively Albion's presence in the borough, and get people to support DedSec. You'll see that a lot of people in the game have a red thumbs down in their profile, meaning they don't necessarily like DedSec, and you need to use the deep profiler in order to recruit them. But once you liberate the borough, you'll see maybe on Big Ben here, when the camera switches back, you'll see that it's got big Albion warning logos and a threat level being broadcast with holograms around the clock, and it's sort of like an affront to this great British London symbol. And by going in there and sabotaging their propaganda and taking down those big signs, you kind of inspire the people to fight back. And a lot of those, red thumbs downs will turn into more favorable reactions, and the people will be easier to recruit in this borough. People who live in this borough will be easier to recruit. So this is sort of inspiring people to rise up. They'll also, Albion's presence will be diminished. They'll also, you can see the warning signs coming up on the stream here. You can see them up on the tower. So those are holograms, and you go in there and shut them down by going into Big Ben. And then they'll be more willing to join your team, and they'll fight back against Albion on the street. So you'll see a lot more if Albion is on the street and trying to arrest someone, people will gang up on them and beat them up. So it really changes the feeling of each of the boroughs as you move through and liberate them.
Yeah, I gotta say,
there was some question there in
go ahead,
chat just now. Yeah, will liberating the boroughs change the environment around you?
It removes a lot of the Albion checkpoints, so people will smash the Albion checkpoints. Some of the Albion propaganda and signage comes down. Basically, it diminishes Albion's physical presence in the borough.
Folks, I'm seeing... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Clint.
And the checkpoints also, they detect you when you're in felony if you drive through those checkpoints or if you walk through those checkpoints. So removing those checkpoints makes it easier for you to escape felony, so you're not being detected as easily.
Oh, yeah. I definitely was, like, almost escaping a few times and just to go through a checkpoint, and then they say, like, oh, they pinged you. Gotta keep going. I really like the takedown ability that this character had unlocked, where you do a stealth takedown and it instantly shrouds their body,
right.
so it's just like a much better sort of stealth situation. Now here we're doing a little Spiderbot infiltration, because turns out like climbing up a big clock tower is really just a lot of precarious clock work, and so this is a great time to take a look at the Spiderbot in action, but also to answer a few questions from chat. Just to clarify, folks, in terms of what you're seeing. This is previously captured gameplay. We captured it through a remote play session on PC, and it's running at 1080p. That was to ensure the fidelity of the experience. So those of you who are looking for some of the more muscly kind of PC graphic stuff, next-gen console graphic stuff that Watch Dogs Legion does, we're going to be able to show you that a little bit later this month, as Watch Dogs is coming out on October 29th. But for this stream, we just wanted to make it look smooth, look good, and show you guys different gameplay systems, different environments, and stuff like that. If you have any questions about co-op and about post-launch stuff, if you go to news.ubisoft.com, we've got an article detailing all of that up now. I'm also going to put that link into the Twitch chat, so you can take a look at that and get some more information here.
Chris, I'm also going to drop a link in the Twitch chat for those people who want to know about all the PC specs, because there is a PC specs announcement article as well. So you can check out all those details if you want this game, running nice and crisp and smooth on your sure state-of-the-art PCs out there.
Excellent. Gamers Jr. is asking, Chris, will you be my dad, please? I really appreciate the question. I currently only have one progeny slot unlocked, and it's occupied, so I'll let you know if there's an opening. But yeah, I see a lot of people very curious about how this is gonna be on next gen systems and stuff. So maybe in addition to reading that, Clint, you can give us an idea just of kind of what you guys wanted to do, what it was like to be developing this game on the cusp of more powerful PC graphics cards coming out, the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, and stuff like that.
I mean, it's always really exciting to develop for next gen hardware and for next gen graphic cards and stuff like that. And we've always been targeting making sure we had a really nice high end PC SKU, so that the game can scale up to those powerful PCs. But then with the release of the new consoles, we get to take advantage of that and some of the optimizations and the graphic improvements and some of the other improvements that we made for the PC version get to go over in particular to the next gen consoles, which is really exciting. So we'll be out on those at launch, which is great.
Excellent. Audio the Kiddo asking, is there a free next gen upgrade? So if you buy this game on Xbox One X or PS4, will you get your copy for Xbox Series X or PS5? I believe that answer is yes. Is that right, Clint?
As far as I understand, the answer is yes. That's pretty great.
There we go.
The answer is yes. Yeah, we announced that today.
Awesome.
And yeah, the game will be available on those consoles as soon as they launch. So November 10th for Xbox Series X and S, and November 12th for PlayStation 5. I also saw a question from it's Chris saying, are you bringing any Watch Dogs 2 characters back? Like Wrench. And so in the news that got announced today in the post-launch article, which I will drop again in chat, Wrench will be part of the season pass. So along with Aiden Pierce and 2 other brand new operatives, Wrench will be making his return.
So you saw that I liberated the burrow, and you get an actual you get kind of a special a bit more skilled kind of agent for unlocking those burrows. We're switching over to a Yusuf storyline now, but that woman that I unlocked, as I recall, had she was a spy. She had a spy watch that would jam enemy guns, and she had a car that shot missiles?
That's right, and her car can cloak as well.
Yes.
Yeah, the spy car is pretty awesome.
I remember basically it was close to the end of the session that I did that, so basically all I had time to do was get the spy car. I found this big sort of plaza in front of an important looking government buildings. I did some donuts, and then I cloaked and drove away.
There you go. Good ending.
Just to get a little saucy at the end there.
Yeah, each of the boroughs that you liberate, in addition to removing the Albion presence, making the people like you more, it also gives you a new member to your team. So there's lots of different ways to recruit. You can obviously just pick anyone off the street and recruit them. You can recruit people just by help rescuing if they're being beaten up by Albion and they already like you. If you just go and save them, they might just join your team on the spot. But also liberating a borough will give you a cool character on your team as well.
And you can see that as you're scanning through the map. So if you folks want to check the replay, as we were scanning across the map earlier, one of the boroughs you could, the reward was to unlock a beekeeper.
That's
and
right.
The beekeeper is not just someone who wears a big suit and hangs out on the rooftop with like licking honey and whatnot. They've got a little more kick to them.
A little more punch to them, that's for sure. Yes. The beekeepers are actually Titus engineers. So in part of our world fiction, with climate change and things going on, colony collapse disorder spreading around the world, the bees have gone extinct. So Titus, in their infinite grace and generosity,
of course,
have decided to manufacture robotic bees, and they're conducting tests inside London with their robotic bees as a replacement for the bees that no longer exist. And so if you recruit a beekeeper, you can actually shoot robot bees at people, which is pretty awesome.
Shoot robot bees. Oh, man. I love it.
Yeah, I'm 100% playing with the beekeeper. The
beekeeper's great.
Niam Boom, I believe, was asking Clint, is it possible to go in guns blazing?
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, like one of the pillars of the game design, just like in previous Watch Dogs games, is we want you to be able to play the game the way you want to play. If you want to, recruit melee characters and go with a shock fist and clobber people with your fists, you can do that. If you want to, sneak around with a spy and a cloak and like jamming people's guns so that and a silent weapon, you can totally be stealthy. If you want to just, recruit someone who comes with a light machine gun and a grenade launcher and just go blow everything away, you can totally do that. We really want you to be able to, approach the challenges of the game any way you choose.
Then, any way you choose, and in any clothing you choose here. Yusuf, I appreciate you visiting the kiosk again here, even though you don't have
Chris, I'm a bit of a fashionista.
You are. You gotta look good.
It's just all footage of you going to shops.
Yes. When the game is properly out and we will be streaming it, just get ready for just a fashion show.
I spend a lot of time in shops in the game, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna have all my operatives just decked out in the best outfits.
Yeah.
Gotta look good for what's at hand. All right, so in terms of this mission, Yusuf, that we're on right now, can you give us a little context for? You remember where we were in this situation?
Yeah. So this is after my bare knuckle boxer went down, and now that he's still in the hospital after I won the whole tournament, and so I wanted to do him a favor. He got me partially of the way there, So I thought, well, why not recruit a paramedic? Because recruiting a paramedic would actually shorten, or in this case, just immediately get him out of the hospital. And so Christine Roebuck is that paramedic.
All right.
So we have to go meet up with her here.
Yeah, definitely having the paramedic, having the barrister. It seems like there are a few character archetypes that you're like, man, that'd be really good to have on the squad to kind of round you out.
Yeah. You don't want your whole team being laid up in the hospital.
I'm sure that doesn't happen a lot to people in their play sessions. Albion can hit hard, man. Also, I got run over by an ambulance once. But I think they were responding.
Right there.
I think they were responding to a situation that I created, so it was a little bit of a karmic flattening, as you will.
That's funny because in this mission you may see me drive an ambulance and maybe run over someone. So yeah, we have to go steal an organ transplant vehicle from a Clan Kelly hideout.
Right. So Clan Kelly's actually operating an illegal organ transplant business. This is they're capturing people and harvesting their organs.
That's not great. Seems
No,
Pretty
no.
crazy.
Speaking of morbid things, Pledge Dust asking, will resist or surrender feature be in the permadeath mode when you're critically injured? So I guess some curiosity about the permadeath mode, what that means for your agents, and for, you know, when you get into a bad situation in combat, what are your options?
So a few different things. One, permadeath is now it's a mode. We found that you know, a lot of players really love playing in permadeath, but a lot of players just really didn't want to have that hanging over them, and it was pretty evenly split. So in order to kind of give everybody the option that they wanted, we decided to make it a mode, but it's orthogonal to difficulty. So you can play in easy difficulty with permadeath on or off. You can play in hard difficulty with permadeath on or off. It's not like hard is permadeath. It's you choose both, right? And then on top of that, the resist or surrender. That's a feature we simplified out. It was too complicated and wasn't adding a lot to the experience, so we took it out after you know, sometime over the last year when we were making major improvements to the game. So now you just, you know, you should have. We feel there's strong enough feedback when you're getting beaten up with the hit responses, and you can see in some of the combat, you can see the direction of the hit indicators. If you get hit too much, the screen will go gray. You know, it's telling you when it's time for you to back out and retreat.
Sorry, Clint. Yusuf just completely flattened a pedestrian.
Yeah, I saw him. Yep. There's an ambulance on the way to pick up the guy that the ambulance just ran over. Way to go, Yusuf.
I'm just keeping the ambulance business employed, all right?
Like, how many organs do you have in the back of the ambulance versus how many organs did you just squash by running over a person?
Yeah, that's a fair trade-off. It's funny to me watching this back now that I tried to get into the vehicle from the left-hand side and then remembered, oh wait, we're in London. All right, let me run around to the other side.
That all the time. I get in and then the guy has to slide over. I run around the far side of the vehicle and then the guy has to slide back over.
Which, I mean, honestly, it just really gives me an insight into what UK gamers have been dealing with their entire lives.
Oh god, I didn't even think about the fact that it's the other way for all of them.
It's true. It's true. Planet Express is asking about the entire map kind of availability, like, you know, right from the beginning. Are you going to be able to range all over London? Is there kind of an intro? So
there's a prologue section which takes place, you know, several months before the game starts, but it's only 15-20 minutes long, where you play Dalton Wolf and you learn about Zero Day and the threats to London, and then after that sort of 20-minute sort of intro and onboarding, then as soon as you appear in modern London, you're free to go everywhere in the game world. Yeah.
Excellent. And get yourself a nice white. Is that a bowler hat? Technically, I gotta get
that's
up
a
on
bowler
my
hat.
hat.
Chris, we just saw here. We recruited Christine, and we see on the left-hand side there. It said my operative was immediately released from the hospital.
Cool. I'm going to pause right here, just on the screen to get you all a quick look at this paramedic and what her abilities are. She's got the uniform, which means she can get access to medical facilities. If your character's wearing something, it'll reduce their alert levels when they are going into facilities where they look like they fit in. You can get an ambulance, which is very effective at going places no matter who's in the way. And then, Triage has got that team injury release, which we just saw Yusuf's team benefit from. You can see that our boxer in the top hat is feeling a lot better.
That's right. He's out.
I also love that the portrait reflects their wardrobe change too.
Yeah, whenever you make a wardrobe change, it will update the portrait. So yeah, if you want to, you could just take her uniform off and put her in her casual clothes, and it would update the portrait. So you can always sort of see what they're wearing.
All right, we're switching gears now. I am out here on a mission to work on liberating Lambeth here. Just a quick look at the map. You see that Lambeth is pretty oppressed, but we've got Digital Deface and Disrupt Propaganda missions to attempt. I'm on my route to a Disrupt Propaganda mission. The reward for this is going to be that Drone Expert Plus. So it's a Drone Expert with a few extra abilities that we'll get to take a look at a little later on, I think. But right now, I am... This guy is he's like an organizer. So we're going to see a different kind of ability that you can use here and see how super well I use it with no mistakes at all. All right, so I came upon Albion harassing a dude. This dude just busts out the megaphone.
Oh, hey, yeah, you're gonna rally the people to just attack this guy in the spot, huh?
And honestly, Clint, I really think I should have stuck with rallying the people, but instead I got cocky. I pulled out the Electro Fist, and
Chris!
I didn't punch the right guy. I did not punch the right guy. So now I'm in a fist fight here, but I have successfully recruited people, and so you see this guy comes along at the end and just like delivers the knockout blow. And so, you know, maybe not the smoothest execution of my plan.
Oh, Chris. This is why vigilante justice should only be handled by the experts.
Oh, man. And of course, perfect time for Icebreaker to come into our chat and notice me messing up in the game. Oops.
Right, Icebreaker?
So yeah, but he has this megaphone. It's his ability to rally folks to fight, and you saw the little like blue dot over that dude meant that like he was down. He was like ready for the fight, which I thought was a really neat ability to stumble upon. All right, so I'm approaching the this is like a war memorial museum or something
This is the Imperial War Museum.
Yeah, to work on, and I'm like, I want to. Oh, I see a soccer ball. What am I gonna do here? Don't worry, you'll get the soccer ball action here in a sec. I'm gonna give this another shot.
No, really, this time I mean it. Beat up that guy, not the other guy.
Yeah, I'm learning my lessons. I'm learning on the job. Oh, the dude didn't even spot me, so I just threw him to the ground. And then, but
Just
you can
as
see,
they're running over to help you, you jump in there and take the guy out.
yeah.
And
Hopefully,
then
I inspired them. You know, they just saw with what decisive action. And then you gotta unwind, folks. You gotta have.
Oh, that's it.
You gotta have a little time to chill out, a little time for some fun. This is about how good I am at soccer in real life.
Yeah, you're probably better than me. You're already better than me.
I can hang about this much. At this point, I like nail the prompt, so I do that cool thing. Definitely can't do that. It's
You
more.
have to try to get in that little colored window.
Yeah, so you're doing some timing along with the prompts, but if you nail like a combo, then if you nail that little like the thing changed to purple. If you nail that, you'll do something flashy, which I did. Which I successfully did before botching it up. But now I'm gonna explore and sort of go about this this takeover mission to continue overtaking Lambeth. And the reason I chose Lambeth is because the London Eye is in there.
That's right. Oh, nice cargo drone.
Oh yeah, these things are super handy.
For sure.
Definitely for getting on top of rooftops, but we also saw, you know, the scissor lift a little earlier, and on another situation I used like not just ladders but pipes as well. You gotta like keeping an eye out for, you know, vehicles around, stuff on the side of the building, cargo drones just flying overhead, or like spawn or like platforms where you can call them. Gives you a lot of options for ways to explore that vertical space, which I was pleased to find when playing. Extreme Sage asking about the tech specs of this. I haven't updated y'all in a while in terms of what you're seeing, but there you see the propaganda's gone. There's a protest already going in front of the Imperial War Museum, but this is previously recorded footage running at 1080p. It was captured via a remote play session, so we're not showing off the like the RTX, the next gen, the ray tracing, and all the fancy stuff during this stream. We're just showing you a lot of different gameplay mechanics and a lot of shenanigans that are always flawlessly executed.
Some of the best playing I've seen so far, guys.
Really, too kind.
Just a reminder for people asking about online multiplayer, things like that. I dropped a link in chat, but there will be co-op and competitive PvP multiplayer. Very exciting mode that I'm hyped to play, called Spiderbot Arena, which is up to 8-player free-for-all Spiderbot deathmatch.
Ooh, Spiderbot deathmatch. Okay, so we're back with the spy. She has her secret watch, her her supercar. So naturally, what I decide to do is get drunk and play darts.
Have a few drinks and play some darts. Of course, yeah. It's like the exact spy thing, right? That's exactly what most spies do.
That's how you blend in, man. You gotta be believable here. Otherwise, they're just gonna suspect you. So we're unwinding with some darts, but this is one of the things that I like about a Watch Dogs game is you can have these more chill moments, these more like, yeah, I'm just like messing around in this city. Clint, when you're playing personally and you're kind of, you know, aside from the like, I'm testing this here, I'm checking to see if this works, like, what is your kind of flow in terms of any of these little shenanigans?
I do very much like what you're doing, although you're editing out parts. I often stop and play a game of darts if I'm going in to meet someone, or if I'm recruiting someone, or if I'm just messing around. I'm actually really excited. One of the things I do maybe once a month in real life when we're not under COVID restriction is I go play darts with this friend of mine, Marcus, and I haven't been able to play darts with Marcus for 6 months. So on launch day, I'm going to make sure Marcus gets this game. Well, I guess when multiplayer's out, and we're gonna play darts together. I can't wait. So
absolutely.
Ship it. Ship it.
Let's go. Get in there.
Clint
needs his darts.
All of you to play.
We have folks asking about Ubisoft Easter eggs. We mentioned the Assassin's Creed one earlier. I don't know if, Clint, there's any ones you want to drop there, but this is a big open world to explore. Actually, all right, sorry. I got to delay that question right now because I've just stumbled upon...
This is an Easter egg right here. Like, come on. Not really, but...
The living
cool.
statue, and you'll notice statue pose. This dude has one ability, and it's statue pose, hide from pursuit.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that sounds very intriguing to me.
It's awesome. I love this. I mean, this is one of the things that we, over the last year when we really tried to clean up some of the clarity of the abilities and like really double down on making things, much more accessible and understandable. Streamlining some of the UI, like a lot of polish that we put into this over the last year, was like, okay, let's like make sure that when you see a guy in the world, like, raking up leaves in the park, he's a groundskeeper or something, like you should be able to rake up leaves in the park. So like that's his ability now. Like he has a rake and he has his uniform, and then someone was like, what about all those human statue people? And we're like, well, I mean, obviously if you stand like a statue, like the police are not going to notice you, right? We're like, exactly. Exactly. Oh, and yeah, and hypnotist, of course, if you see someone doing like this ridiculous like little sideshow of like hypnotizing people, like,
looks like someone never
this is one of my favorite lines of the game.
When they were a child in 1853.
Bagley's so funny. Bagley is hilarious.
This is my favorite part, though, is this is a judge. This woman is a judge who's dancing like a chicken right now. Sorry to interrupt, Clint. What were you saying about the magicians?
That's sort of the approach we took when we went from all of these abilities to like, okay, let's really make it clear and readable and meet the player's expectations. So if you see someone doing this little, hypnotism stage show in some park or in some ridiculous costume, like they should be a hypnotist. Like let's make them a hypnotist. Let's do that. And so, we added a bunch of features, added a bunch of properties, like added a bunch of polish and clarity. And so now when you see someone in the street and they're doing a thing or they have a specific job or whatever, they should do the thing that you see them doing in the world.
Yeah, I definitely saw a few janitors sweeping up, and I really wanted to recruit one of them just so I could do whatever and then just walk out the door and be like, nope, nobody here. I'm just sweeping up. Like,
yep.
Be all incognito. Okay, so I was going to take this really stealthy, but then this cargo drone with this big payload just came by. I could
drop this box on that dude and crush him.
I could not take out one of their like heavy hitters, and so now they're all slightly alerted. They don't really know where I am, but I've got this like it's like a level up from the I made your phone buzz thing. It's like you kind of shocked them with a distract, so it's great for closing distance and doing a takedown. Here, let's just take a quick look. This is the wheel of this spy that I unlocked.
This is the drone expert.
Exactly, this is the drone expert. So this is we've jumped a little later in the timeline, but you see that there's a few drone-related abilities. Select an enemy to be dive bombed by a drone, and then I think you can like convert enemy drones to fight for you for a little bit. Yeah. I didn't get to put that one into action because Clan Kelly was not rocking too many drones. But yeah, drone betray hack.
Yeah, this drone betray hack is a hack that you can unlock over the course of the progression, but it's very expensive, like to be able to make a CT drone turn against its enemy. But this character, they have it natively, so you can get it right from the very beginning. It's a very powerful and cool ability. Plus, they can summon their own drones. And this one's pretty cool. It's much faster than the average one. It's got its own skin, like got a weapon on it. It's pretty
Oh
great.
yeah, this thing is zippy.
Ooh.
Definitely no CTOS drone. This one, like it definitely was fun to like handle on this one. After you know, you don't like necessarily have a drone at the ready, but there are so many like news drones, camera drones, whatever around in the world that it's really not hard to find one if you need to get a different look at the space you're trying to get into.
Yeah.
Now, a little bit of context for this. This is a hostage situation, and I previously, in another moment, I, like...
Oh, no!
No, he's okay. He's okay. The guy just got distracted. But, Clint, you're oh no. That happened to me before. I thought they were going to take the hostage.
They will totally execute the hostage if you're not careful, so...
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, so then I started picking them off here with my non-lethal pistol, and started getting a little more heat than I wanted to. So, you know what? I'm not a drone expert for nothing. Let me get back to my little zappy dude.
You have one lead. Go.
It's just so, like, they know where I'm at, but they don't know where my drone is at. Zip.
Ooh, I love the little lob it has, too.
All right, so then we've got, and this is the mission to recruit the living statue. He basically has gotten himself involved in some Clan Kelly shenanigans, unbeknownst to him. But we're going to rescue this hostage and jump forward a little bit. Again, folks, we're reviewing the footage. So if you see any like jumps forward, they're just for time, so that we can get in all the action we can here while we've got Clint to watch and judge us on our choices.
Are we enemies? See, I'm DedSec, and you've been working for Clan Kelly.
Yeah, this is the PC version that we were playing.
They was human rights activists. That's the only reason I signed on. They had legit papers, IDs, and all sorts.
All sorts. This guy got bamboozled, man.
Clan Kelly tricked you into human trafficking.
Oh my days.
I'm sure I wasn't responsible for that corpse on the ground. For sure.
I just want to make a difference, yeah?
He must have been hit by someone else.
Yeah. But I came upon this, and like,
the Tate.
Yeah, so Yusuf, I immediately thought of you because I was like, oh, this is a place that Yusuf will probably know something about.
Oh yeah, the Tate Modern, one of the premier museums in London for sure. You can tell by the name, the Museum of Modern Art.
The more of us we are, the stronger we are. Welcome to DedSec.
I really like these little moments between the agents. They happen a lot. They happen when you're switching operatives. They happen when you like come up across each other. It just really helps them all like feel like people. I think they're really neat.
Well, I love too that when you switch, like the other operative just like walks away and like they don't just like despawn.
Well, yeah, they go back to their life because they, you know, just like they're people that you recruited from the world with a life and friends and family. You can be walking down the street and see your other operatives like having dinner with their wife, like that's, you know, they live their lives just like everybody else does in the world.
Planet Express asking, is the Thames in the map? You'll be seeing the Thames shortly. And what you're seeing now, Yusuf, sorry to interrupt. What you're seeing now is just me deciding to take my like, I gotta try the statue ability out. I want to try to pose here, do it for the gram. You know, that's why people go to modern arts places, right, Yusuf?
Oh, 100%. This is living art, Chris. You're just...
You really need to position yourself so that the speech bubble would look like it was coming from your character, though. Like,
Absolutely.
You messed it up.
I did, Clint. You're right. Thank you for calling me on that. But now we're gonna put the living statue thing to the test and see just how deceptive this dude can be. So I'm just gonna pick a fight with these drones. Are pretty nasty, by the way. You know.
Oh yeah, that's a yeah. What are you gonna die trying to? Okay.
No. I'm gonna succeed here. It's gonna be okay.
Luckily, your shock weapons do more damage to drones.
Yeah, that definitely helped out for sure. Okay, and now cops come running. But look, man, no one ever suspects the living statue.
Like how you just opposite episodes of Tate Modern.
Not just flagrantly hiding in plain sight, but also like pointing to the donation cup. Like, why not tip me while you're here investigating my shenanigans?
Couldn't have been him.
It's so good.
Hiding in plain sight.
And now
totally.
Yeah,
they're like, totally looking for you. You're just standing.
Oh my God! What away!
See you later. So you know I had to celebrate. I did a little dance after that, just because you got to get the emote in. But now we're going ahead to another Borough Uprising mission. This time, we're gonna go. We're gonna try to take back Lambeth and do a little mission at the London Eye. It's gonna take a little bit to get there, but yeah, that's where we're at in this phase of the footage. And this will be probably our last little sequence here. So, folks, if you have any other questions, we can try to pop in here for Clint or for us on the gameplay. Please throw them into the Twitch chat at twitch.tv/Ubisoft.
A symbol for the people, public, accessible, in the heart of London. But Albion have
Clint, I was seeing a question about the maximum number of operatives you can recruit.
I think the number is 40. So basically, I mean, way more than you need. I usually carry a team of about 15 to 20. You can have up to 40 people in your sort of tracking app, and you can potentially recruit everyone that you track in that app. So,
which means clearing the defenses on the barge first, of course. But that's a doddle.
Yeah, you say 40 is way more than you need, but at one point I definitely had like 5 injured operatives in my roster during this play session.
Chris, this is one of my favorite things you do.
Oh, jumping onto boats? Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do it. Oh, he didn't.
So I
he misses it. So
no, so I like hit it in reverse, and then I almost missed it. Stuck the landing.
Nice.
Stealing boats on the Thames, but like I'm also trying to play it slick. You know me, always very slick. So these are.
This person's like, what did you do to my boat? It's broken.
Yeah. Why isn't my boat going? Why are you standing next to me? Why are all these cops suddenly leaving the scene? So I'm not trying to steal a boat right in front of the cops this time. So once the coast is clear,
I love that line. I love boats.
Oh, so good, so good. All right, so there we see. This is after I liberated Big Ben and Westminster Palace. Is that what that place is called? Anyways, there's no like Albion propaganda on it, so it looks real nice. But you'll see that the eye still has that like severe terrorist threat warning, which honestly is just kind of ominous.
Yep.
Chris, did you know that Big Ben is actually the name of the bell of the tower?
What?
That's right.
What's the name of the tower then?
It's the clock tower at the Palace of Westminster, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it has like a nickname.
Exciting. The console on this barge is a control hub for prototype counter-terrorism drones. You can use one to destroy electronic security measures on the wheel.
Okay, so I rolled up here, right? But I saw there was a drone on the platform.
Yep. And a turret. Yeah.
Yeah, and a turret. I'm not trying to like immediately jump off and get murdered by a drone. So I went into my tech menu, and I had enough tech points to like quick unlock the ability to hack the turret.
Very clever.
So now I know I'm gonna be able to shut down the turret, and hop on here and start some shenanigans. But first, there's this chase drone. I'm like, okay, I got now 2 targets to get down, so I disable that one. It's gonna work out, probably.
I'm guessing cover, raising that platform there.
Yeah, I just figured like every little bit helps. And then so I disabled this thing, but then I realized the drone hack is about to run out. This thing is like up, so I just like hacked it again, like fly it away quickly. Then it's on a hack cooldown. Then I get the chance to like interact here. And
so this is cool. This is a fun sequence.
You talking about deadly drones earlier. This bad boy is nasty.
Yeah. This is one of the prototype counter-terror drones. So this is even better than the counter-terror drones that you see in the world. So it's got a chain gun on it. It's got, I think, 8 rockets maybe, or 6.
8. Yeah, 8 like recharging rockets. So I'm like having to shut down a few of the like electrical stations around the eye. Through, and you know who was asking about lethal force earlier? These are not stun bullets. Those are not stun explosions.
They are not. Now you're being attacked by drones.
Yeah, so I popped it into first-person view here, actually a little by accident, but you know, like you got to have different piloting views depending on your preference here. And it took me a second to like dial in, like, okay, do I need to? All right, I got these guys on the thing. I'm around the eye, but now I got to go up and do a hack. So but this is all on the backdrop of like the Thames, the London Eye. the clock tower containing the bells known as Big Ben. So while I'm doing this, Ryan has been asking, can we play as any other real-life people besides Stormzy? Of course, it's Stormzy and the song showed off during Ubisoft Forward 2. That's one of the sort of a cool like real-life crossover here in Watch Dogs Legion. I don't know if there's any others you care to mention or sort of the approach to that, Clint, as I totally take down these things.
If you're a fan of El Rubius, if you're Spanish and like the influencer El Rubius, he's a playable character in the game as well.
Oh, nice. And I just noticed the storm clouds over London here. I did not notice them before, but like it's
a pretty gray day for sure. It's a pretty gray day.
I've never been to London, but I gather they have a fair amount of those.
I was gonna say, isn't that par for the course?
Oh, nice, guided. Oh, wow, that was good.
Yeah, I definitely ended up getting the hang of it here. There's a lot of them, though.
You're taking some shots for sure.
Oh, and I just noticed the animation for when you switch to the missiles. They come up on the top of the drone through these little panels and like show you how many you have left.
Yeah.
I did not notice this when I was frantically drone fighting for my life over the Thames, but that's why footage review is great.
Oof. 93%. Are you gonna make it? So close. Yes.
Ooh, you know I'm not gonna let you down.
Way to go.
Oh yeah.
Way to go.
Wow,
That's pretty hard actually.
That mission was tricky. That mission was I was definitely sweating it out there. But throw up the dead sec there, and then of course I had to go. We'll leave you on a little a fun moment here at the end. But when you unlock the burrow, you know you get this notice of where like lots of tech points you can get are, and as you saw during that mission. Tech points are great. Can unlock something that can really help you speed through a mission. Yeah, Clint, we are pretty much at the end of this gameplay capture review session. Any comments on how we played it off, and any words for the folks as we are in the last few weeks before Legion comes out?
You know, any praise you have for us as well?
Yeah, I mean, you guys did great. So great. I mean, happy to see you guys playing with all these different characters, experimenting with cool abilities, doing a little dance in the London Eye. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. It's great